What's going on? This is your boy Gangstar Talk with AJ, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, man, I want to get into Stepback With AJ Part 3. This is going to be going into the beginning of 2017, and we're going to go into the end of 2018, going into 2019. So if you're into thought-provoking content like this, like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. So, excuse me. Damn, sorry. Alright, so getting into 2017. Now around this time, I'm about 3 months into coming back to New Mexico, working at this restaurant, transferred to a different store that was a little bit closer to my house, or literally 5-minute walk from my house, same company. So from here, I'm dealing with a lot of the workplace mobbing, harassment, customers coming up to the restaurant to cause chaos. There was another stage robbery where we're working the shift. The lobby's ready to close. It's about 9:45-ish in the evening. The lobby closed at 10, and I'm the manager on the shift at this time. So I got my cashier, which was one of the guys that participated. There's a guy named Joe. I'm gonna just say his name. He was one of the main guys that kind of sent people up there to kind of harass and target me. There was this girl named Amanda. She ended up finding out she was racist. Now, how I found out she was racist is that she said straight up, "I don't like niggers. I don't like niggers. I don't like black people." Straight up. So that told me where I stand with her. So the moment she started scheduling me shifts with her, I knew that the manager in charge, my boss, had it out for me as well, because when she would schedule me, she would never show up, but she always still had a job. So that told me they were just in on this whole campaign to make my life a living hell on this job until I quit. So lo and behold, in March of that year, I did just that. I left. Now I went to go work to do stocking at this grocery store in April of 2017. Now the grocery manager, the overnight grocery manager, his name was Jose. And once again, I dealt with a lot of harassment, workplace mobbing, and just looking back on it, I did a lot of overachieving at these low-paying jobs that don't bring you any reward. I know us as TIs, we tend to perform and do our job, and we don't get anything out of it, but a paycheck and just mobbed and harassed and bullied at work. So I would go to work. When I was stocking shelves at the time for this company, and this guy named Jose would come in, him being the supervisor of the night crew. He would come in and he wouldn't even have to be there till, and this is how overly obsessed these people were. He wouldn't have to be there till 4 in the morning. This guy would come in at 1:30 in the morning, and you know what he would do? He'll walk the aisle, go talk to the people, you know what I'm saying? Ask them if and I've seen this personally. From just standing on the corner of the aisle, he'll ask if I'm here. So what I'll do is I'll go back to my aisle, go stock, and then he'll come down the aisle to kind of nitpick everything I do. He did this every day. He knew I was crushing it and doing the best, but and out of all of them, outperforming all of them guys. So he would come around every day, nitpick at me. And then he would, we would all have like a group set up, like we were like group breakdown and whatnot. Like when he normally supposed to come in at 4, we'll stop what we doing, meet with him, and he would have a little directed conversation talking about me. You know what I'm saying that this ain't getting done. You're doing this, you're doing that. You're not doing enough of this. You're not doing enough of that. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, look at these guys. These guys ain't doing half the work I'm doing, but you're not giving them energy. And that's why I say all the time that it's all about who we like and who, You know, this is all about who we like and who they like. The people they like are allowed to do whatever, and there's no consequences for it. But when it comes to people like us being targeted, we can't do no right. No matter how hard we work and how good we do, they will always try to find something wrong in what you do, all the time. And that's what I was dealing with working for this company. Just trying to find faults in everything I did, and it just got to the point like, bro, what the hell is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? And the first time I heard the word gang stalking was at this job. Now, in the morning, I think this was like May 2017. Yeah, it was May 2017. In the morning, I went to talk to the store director. And we were talking about I was telling them about, because it was like a month follow-up on the job. So he kind of asked me how the job's going, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of get my opinion, you know what I'm saying? This is something I want to do. So I'm like, okay, yeah, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I mean, aside from the little stuff, you know what I'm saying, that I'm dealing with, you know, it's cool. Then he started to kind of get me to try to want me to divulge in it. And I'm like, nah, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to just work through it. So, and that's when, you know what I'm saying, we were talking about the job, then he just randomly said gang stalk. And I'm just like, why would he say that? Why would he say that? It was just out of nowhere. It was just a random, like out of nowhere, he just said gang stalk. That was the first time that I heard the word gang stalk. And that was the first time, and the official time, the very official, like back in 2014, I had an idea that I was being gang stalked, but that made it official. May 2017 made it official that I was being gang stalked. That was confirmation. I had a suspicion in 2014, and there were signs was there the entire time, but 2017 confirmed it when I heard it on my job. Now, at that point, okay, I knew the fix was in why Jose was doing this stuff to me, and why he was trying to, you know, do all these things to kind of get a reaction out of me. So I ended up just basically putting my 2 weeks in at this place, and was like, you know what? There were the delivery apps that were coming around. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to find a way to buy me a car. Now, it took me months to buy a car after that. It took me several months. But I ended up buying a car eventually, but I went and got on these delivery apps eventually. And then in the meantime, I went to another job, fast food. And once I got on this job, like I said, it just ratcheted up. It turned up to the max at this point, where once I got confirmation that I was being gang stalked, I was dealing with a lot of people on the job. Just, I'm talking about from the moment I walk in, they're giving me a hard time. They're giving me extra tasks that they wouldn't give none of my coworkers. Right? I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with people like I'm getting purposely placed in the drive-thru so I can have direct contact with customers. They'll keep saying that, you know, I'm in the drive-thru, I'm messing up their order, you know, I'm taking it wrong, just making all these excuses and lies, trying to, you know, make my day difficult. I had somebody slip a $100 bill that was fake in the drawer on me. One of the managers, I'll say his name, Bart, you know who you are, slipped a $100 bill, had somebody come through there and slip a $100 bill. So I checked my drawer, count my drawer down, and they're asking about a $100 bill. I had to pay that $100 back out of my check. Just all types of sabotaging going on. So it got to the point where I made enough money. I bought for like $1,300, I bought a 2003 Dodge Neon. So it wasn't really like the best car, you know what I'm saying, in the world, but, you know, it was reliable for sure. Now, let me tell you how I went with this. This was in October 2017. And simultaneously, I I ended up moving out of that apartment I was staying in. Didn't really have too much apartment problems until I moved to this apartment that I just mentioned. So I ended up moving into a bigger apartment, a 2-bedroom. Me, you know, my child's mother, and our 2 kids. So we got a 2-bedroom. It was about $630 a month at the time. Cool. So we do that. You know, once we do that, okay, everything seems cool. The lady, the manager, the property manager, she lives in the apartment complex as well. I'm gonna get to why that's important. Now, this lady has an over asphyxiation for black men, and so you know where I'm going with this. She used to always flirt with me all the time, literally all the time. And my girl at the time caught on to it, and was like, "Hey, she like you. I'm like, man, I don't want nothing to do with that lady. I don't know what the hell she talking about, but anyways, so when it came to my neighbors, in the place, there was a guy that he used to be a quote unquote rapper. You know what I'm saying? He was pretty bad at it. He stayed directly next door to me. And then there was a bigger guy that stayed on the 4th floor. I stayed on the 3rd floor. There was a heavyset guy, Mexican guy that had a daughter, as well, that stayed over there occasionally, upstairs. Now these 2 people are key in this story. So, and I'm going to be at this apartment for several years, so you're going to hear things about this apartment over, you know, parts. So I ended up moving in, you know. There was the maintenance man. His name was Dusty, literally his nickname. Showed us the apartment. We got the keys, moved in. You know what I'm saying? So moved in this apartment. Everything's cool at this point. You know what I'm saying? Initially, what I noticed is that the apartment was very empty. Like, it wasn't really a lot of units being rented out. But I noticed over the next year, I seen honeypots move in. And remember I told you, like, when I in other videos, that, you know, at the time, I ain't gonna lie, I had asphyxiation with thick white women, like thick women with nice asses, white women with nice asses. I had that thing going on. I was like, damn, like, and these two honeypots moved in. I'm telling you, you can't make this shit up. So one, she had a man. They moved on the 4th floor on the opposite side of the building. There was another one. And what's crazy is they knew each other. So these 2 white girls, and then the dude that was with the girl on the 4th floor. There was a girl that moved in on the 1st floor by herself. This is the girl in particular that was the honeypot in particular, because she was the one that was directly, knowing at the time I had a girl, directly flirting with me, trying to cause, you know, a rift in my relationship at the time. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I was trying my hardest to resist. And man, that girl was so thick. It didn't. Oh my goodness, boy! I was like, man, this is not happening, bro. The devil was working, bro. He was working, but man, I prevailed. I held strong. So at the end of the day, I held strong. I didn't go to the temptation, because I remember the girl tried to get me to come in her apartment before. Like, dead ass, try to get me to come in her apartment, and I'm just like, nah, bro, I can't do it, because this is gonna cause problems, like, you know, and I don't want to, you know, be that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm with her. This is my child's mother. I have to love and respect her. So I didn't end up doing it at all. And now I'm gonna get into these neighbors, because eventually I started to smoke weed again. Now remember I told you back around Thanksgiving 2012. Oh, my bad, y'all. Ooh, that was nasty. I'm sorry, y'all. I stopped smoking and drinking, because I wanted to kind of, you know what I'm saying, get away from that. So in this apartment, I picked them habits back up. So the guy next to me, that stayed literally next door to me, I stayed in 303, he stayed in 302. So the guy next door to me was selling weed. Coincidentally, he was smoking a lot, and I'd be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I start buying weed from him, because at this time weed wasn't legal in New Mexico. It wasn't legal to like go buy, you know what I'm saying, from a store, unless you had the medical card. But so I ended up meeting up, you know what I'm saying, with this guy, and I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying, you smoke or whatever. And then I ended up buying, you know, he ended up becoming somebody I started to buy weed from. Now, this is where the situation got complicated. He seemed cool at first, but I noticed that he was a snake a little bit later on. So we're getting into 2018. Now, the car, the Dodge Neon I bought, I only had it for a few months, and I'm gonna tell you why. So at this point, I'm driving home one day, right? Now I'm at a light. The cross streets was like Gibson and some other street. It was close to my house, so my apartment. So I'm turning through this solid green light, right? Because I had the right of way at the time. I had to yield to oncoming traffic, if you know the rules of the road. So tell me why this car sped like up like a lot. I'm talking about the speed limit on that road was like 35 miles an hour. And this was the first time I got an accident in one of many. So he sped up really fast. And what he ended up doing was hitting me, crashing into me to my passenger side as I'm turning through the light, and he's coming down like towards me like this. And then boom, hit the side of me, right? Now, with the car being older, it didn't really get damaged too much, but his car was damn near totaled. So, for some reason, I go to the house. I go to my house. I drive to my house because I had to get my information. I already knew the cops was coming. So he tried to say I tried to run, which I didn't. I was trying to get to my house, and I'm telling him, like, come on, I'm trying to go to my house so I can get my stuff. But I didn't have the stuff in the car. So, unfortunately, so I'm driving, and unfortunately, we got into a wreck. So we got to the house, I got to my apartment, went and got my paperwork and stuff. So what ended up happening in my car is, I bent my strut, so I needed a new strut. And it was just a little bit of body damage, but you know, them cars back then were built for it tough. So his car was one of the new Cadillacs that just built out of plastic. So his car was total. My car was fixable. So ended up for some reason, even though his speed was the reason why this accident happened, they found me at fault. And I'm just like, no way did you find me at fault and didn't take into account that he was speeding. The cops found me at fault. The insurance company found me at fault. They agreed, they sided with him. And I'm just like, bro, no fucking way. No way. I couldn't believe it. I literally couldn't believe that I was found at fault for an accident I didn't cause. So at this point, I'm like, oh man, they're really fucking me up. So I'm stuck, you know what I'm saying, trying to figure out, okay, how I'm gonna get this car fixed. I ended up, me and my girl at the time, we ended up putting our money together, and we ended up buying a strut and buying buying something. It was something else we needed. That was suspension related on that side of the car. I forgot, but more of the strut. I think that was the main thing. And then we needed a alignment as well, which we got. So, because it got knocked out of alignment, that's what it was. So, there was this other guy in the building. He didn't seem like he was a part of the targeting, you know what I'm saying? But I used to call him Seattle, because that's where he was from. And I ended up linking with him, and I'm like, yo, what's up, man? Can you help me put this on? You know what I'm saying? I need some help. He was like, yeah. So he took me to the auto parts store. We slid up there. He helped me, you know what I'm saying? I ended up buying the part and everything we needed. And then he ended up, you know what I'm saying, helped me put it on. I paid him a couple dollars because I was like, you know what? I don't like people, you know what I'm saying, volunteering their time, you know what I'm saying, to help me or whatever. So he seemed like a cool guy, His kid, he got a couple kids and his wife or whatever. Seemed like a really cool guy, no problem at all. But with time, I noticed that he started to change. Like maybe he wasn't on board with the gang stalking, and then maybe, you know what I'm saying, some of the people let him know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason I'm being targeted. You shouldn't be, have any conversation with him. And all of a sudden our conversation and everything, he seemed cool. Everything just ceased shortly after that. I stopped talking to him. But he stopped talking to me. I would speak to him, he wouldn't say anything. So, okay, so we're getting into 2018. We're in the apartment. I met the neighbor, you know what I'm saying? I'm buying weed from him. And then all of a sudden, with that car ended up having some starter issues and some other issues with the engine. So I had to jump the car. So getting into 2018, this is about springtime 2018, so I'll say March 2018. The neighbor next to me ended up wanting to sell his car. So I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? It was a beater, like it was a 95 Camry or whatever, I think it was. I gotta remember, but I know it was a Camry. It was a 95. So, I ended up, we agreed to $800 for the car. Now, this guy, and in hindsight, I was a little green, but he ended up not having the title to the car, so I couldn't register the freaking car. So I told him, yo, I'll give you half the money right now, and then when you get the title, you know what I'm saying, bring it to me. And he was like, all right, bet. So he gave me the car keys, and I gave him half the money. So once I gave him half the money, I'm like, okay, when you gonna have the title? He's like, okay, I'll have it within the week or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool, say less. So I'm driving this car around knowing I ain't supposed to be because it's not registered to me. Has no tags on it. I end up finding out this fool doesn't even have a driver's license. He doesn't even have the title. He was lying to me, playing with me in my face. This man don't even got the title to his car. And he still expected payment for the car. And he thought he was getting the car back without giving me my $400 back. And I was like, nigga, I'm not giving you shit. You're going to give me, it's either you're going to give me my money back and I give you the car back, or you're going to come with a title and then I pay you. So neither happened. So he didn't get his car back and he didn't give me a title. So, or, he didn't get no money from me. So, from there, it's just like, that's when we started having issues. And I noticed that he tried to, the weed, I was buying weed from, you know what I'm saying, the midst of all this going on. But I noticed that the weed started to smell different. And I knew right then and there, like, yo, this dude is trying to lace my weed, bro. He's trying to lace this weed. So I ended up stopped fucking with him. And then the other guy I was telling you about comes to play right now. This guy mysteriously starts selling weed. I never used to see him even smoke weed. So this is how I put two and two together, that maybe he got the weed from him. So I did start buying weed from him, and it kind of seemed like it was cool at first, but the weed started to smell just like the same shit that he was selling. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? And then after that, I got into my second altercation with this guy, right? To where this is the second altercation I got in. No, it's not. Yeah, second one, because there's more. But the second one I got into with this guy on the 4th floor. He's a way bigger guy than me, way bigger. But at the time, I'm just like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm kind of angry at this point, and I'm just like, yo, I need my money back or whatever. So we get into it. I just picked up my son from school because my daughter was too young at the time, but my son was getting out of pre-K. So go in the house. and he say something to me. He called me out my name. He actually called me the B word, B-A, and then the F word that's derogatory. And I was like, what's up? I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, SMD. If you know what I'm saying, you know that acronym. And I was like, nigga, I was like, bring your ass down here and say that to my face. So me and him, we almost got into it. He didn't come down or whatever. He didn't come downstairs or whatever because he seen my kid was right there. And I was wrong for that. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, you know what I'm saying, I was in the right for that. But the manager came out because she stayed on the second floor in 201. So I'm in 303. So 303 is over here in the corner, and then 303, and then 302, 301. She was in 201, right under 301. So she came out, and then that's when we went in the house and whatnot when she came out. So after that, nothing. I just stopped having conversation with them. But I noticed after that, he started to come outside every time I came outside because he was on Social Security or some shit like that. Every time I came outside, he came outside. So, and he would always kind of like, you know, say stuff and say little things, have direct conversation, whether it was directly trying to talk to me, you know what I'm saying, or talking to other people. So that's when that started. And I noticed more and more people. This apartment building got full with people from the moment that I came in and moved in. It was when it was only like probably 9 units being rented, and this apartment complex had at least 36. So they were damn near full capacity at this point. Damn near full capacity. So moving forward to October 2018. So this is an incident. This is another incident. It had nothing to do with me, but it kind of got to the point where I was kind of on the fence about staying there. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I'm going to get to the final straw in the next part, but I'm going to get to what was leading to that. So it was a guy that stayed in let me see. If I'm in 303, 302, he was in, no, the other guy was in 304. The neighbor, he ended up moving down to another apartment, but so there's 305, 306, 307. He was in 308, this guy, 308. So this guy had a lot going on. I think he used to sell drugs or whatever and all this stuff out of his apartment. So one night, right, minding our business, right, now he had gotten into altercation with these two ladies and this dude. I think, you know what I'm saying, they were trying to set him up or whatever to rob him or whatever the case may be. And next thing you know, he come out with a gun outside his house. And this is from the account, you know what I'm saying, from another neighbor when I asked him about it. And next thing you know, pow, 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 pow. But you know where these two individuals ran? To my door. So these bullets are going towards my door. You know what I'm saying? Through the grace of God, they ended up coming through my door, but they stopped for some reason. Through the grace of God, there was a closet, like a what do you call it? A jacket closet, like stuff you can put like storage in, the jackets and all that stuff, right as you come in the apartment. And then you go over here, there's the living room, and then behind that is the kitchen, refrigerator, and all that stuff. And then there's a kitchen dining area, my bedroom, and then the kids' room over here. My kids' room was on that side. So just imagine if that bullet traveled any further, and if it went straight through, it would have hit them. Somebody would have got hit. So through the grace of God, it didn't travel that far, but 3 gunshots right at my door. That was an attempt on somebody's life in my place. I don't know if that was intentional, but it didn't. It maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was. Who knows? But I noticed that this guy, you would think, like, you know what I'm saying, when something like this happened, he would have to get evicted or whatever the case may be. He didn't get evicted. Crazy. This guy ended up staying there after that. And I was just like, what? And I was thinking to myself, like, what the fuck is going on? What is really going on? This guy could have took out somebody in my apartment My kids, me, if I was in the kitchen or if I was standing right there, anything could have happened. But nothing. So that told me right there, like, wow, they some demonic ass people, bro. Some demonic ass people. That was one of the most eye-opening situations because it really could have went left. And it just shows you how messed up people are, man. How wicked people are. So I wanted to end it off like this. And I'm gonna try to end these off with like lessons, you know, based on my experiences. Sometimes, you know, at the time, maybe that's all you can afford. But and you may have to deal with living in environments like that. At the time, that was all I can afford for my family. And that may be all you can afford just for yourself or your family. And you just got to make the most of situations like that and understand, like, this world we live in, it's what you make it, you know what I'm saying? But don't try to, like, you know what I'm saying, try to just focus on doing what's best for you and just leave people alone. Like, and I want to start giving these takes from, you know, what I learned, you know, over the years, because I was still trying to associate with people, befriend people, and knowing these people didn't have my best interest at heart. So nowadays, in hindsight, looking back on it, definitely be careful about who you give your energy to and give your time to. And because when you're being targeted, a lot of these people, they don't really, you know, honestly don't have your best interest. So if you're expecting, you know, them to be your friends and want to see you win and et cetera, kick it with you, smoke with you, joke with you, drink with you, they're not for you. So a lot of the times, like I said in the previous video, the people everybody that left, you know what I'm saying, ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? But the people who stay ain't a blessing either, you know? So be mindful and be careful about who you who you have around you. You know what I'm saying? If you need to be in isolation and stay to yourself, do that. Don't allow yourself to be tricked out your life and your freedom by dealing with people that don't want to see you win. But that is the end of, you know, the 2018, the beginning of 2018, going into beginning of 2017, going into the end of 2018. So this is your boy Gang Talk with AJ. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. The next one should be more interesting. It's going to be going from 2018 going into the end of 2019. So this is when I'm kind of just am in this apartment and I'm going into, I go back to work. I'm find a car that's more reliable. So I'm doing delivery like I'm doing now, and other things start to happen over the time. So, but I'll get into that in the next one. So y'all stay blessed. Y'all stay safe out there. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.